Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the McGonagall Boxing Podcast. So, obviously, the dust has settled. It's been a crazy 24 hours. I'm trying to get off social media because there's just so many keyboard warriors, so many negativity, and unbelievably, British fans that seem to hate on Fury, which is so disappointing. But this is Britain in 2024, unfortunately. A lot of them don't see the world I see. And a lot of them don't share the same views I share. It's a good thing to have different views. Otherwise it'd be a boring world. But when you have so many keyboard warriors, so full of hate and bitter, you're like, well, look at your own lives, look at your own selves. Whether you like it or not, Fury's been a huge success in life. Multi-millionaire, beautiful family. He's going to go down in Boxing Hall of Fame. Worldwide celebrity, and there you are, got a keyboard warrior from Dagenham saying this and that, he's a disgrace, embarrassment. Shut up and do something with your own life. But anyway, moving on from that, let's get down to the fight. I thought it was another brilliant fight, wasn't it? I mean, these two are clearly the two best heavyweights of a generation. It was really skilled, and again, you've got these keyboard warriors. Oh, it was boring. They just don't know anything about boxing, do they? I mean, not every fight can be slugfest. And actually, the highest level, you don't want it to be a slugfest, do you? I mean, you want it to be skilled and tactical, and that's exactly what it was. It was a brilliant display of tactical, masterful boxing. And, on that performance, no one else is getting near them two. You wonder how much is taken out of them two, though, but we'll get to that on another story. But again, it was different, and it was similar, wasn't it, to the first fight, in the fact that Usyk's always dangerous, that left hand, that flying hand. He lets it rip with bad intentions, which makes it dangerous. And he's always going to catch because he's so quick and nippy. And he's, a bit like Tyson, he's crouching down and coming up. And he level changes so well. He's always going to catch the bigger man with the left hand. And he did. He caught Fury numerous times with it. But I felt, as the fight wore on, that left hand became less and less potent, less and less dangerous. I think the weight actually helped Fury this time. I think it helped him take them punches and just roll with them. I also think he did a better job of reading them. He was starting to step around when Usyk was trying to throw that. And I think he nullified Usyk a lot of times. And I think Usyk nullified Fury. I think it was a game of cancelling out, wasn't it, a lot of the time. But for me, I think Fury did a really good job, like I said, of nullifying, but also controlling the distance. I think he used his jab really well, especially early on. He was doubling up with the jab and then occasionally throwing up the hook, the uppercut. I'd like to see him throw the uppercut a bit more. I'd like to frame the body more as well. We know that's a weakness of Usyk's, but clearly Usyk's done his homework. He's realised Fury was going to go after his body, and he, to his credit, he nullified that well. He tucked up when he needed to, and he moved around, didn't he? His circular movement was very good, Usyk. And I said it wasn't going to be a case of just walking him down like you do Wilder. Usyk's got the slickness, the awkwardness, the defence, and the footwork. But I would have liked to see Fury a little bit more on the front foot. But I think he was so worried about the counter, the quick counters coming from Usyk, that he kind of reverted back to the boxer. But I mean, he did mix up a bit more, which was good to see. Round 10 was a good round for him when leaning on Usyk, mauling him, and I'd like to see that more from him. I think he'd have done that, he would have definitely got the victory. But I think, again, round 12 was nip and tuck, round 11 was nip and tuck. What Usyk was doing smart was, I felt like Fury was almost controlling the first 2 minutes around, but then Usyk, clearly watching Leonard versus Hagler, would spend the last minute really going at it, full pelt, gas. And that really, catches judges' eyes, how you end the round, not how you start it. And I think Usyk was the master at this fight, ending the round strong, which obviously catched the judges' eyes. Also, it's in Riyadh, and you had a lot of people cheering for Usyk. So every time he landed, it was and quite muted silence when Fury landed. I think the crowd reaction at the end told the fight though, a lot of boos with that decision. I mean, 116, 112, are you kidding me? 8 rounds to 4, are you kidding me? The problem is it's in Riyadh. It's not in Vegas. It's not in the UK. I guarantee the scorecards would not have gone that way had it been in Vegas. It's boxing politics, of course. We know that. It's world politics. We know that. We know that certain people run boxing. Money talks. And they wanted Usyk to win. That's that. On a global scene. There's a lot of politics going on in Ukraine right now and around the world. And I believe that was a huge agenda. I'm sorry, to score that fight 8 rounds to 4 is madness. One judge, as Frank Warren alluded to, didn't give Fury 1 round, not 1 round after round 5. I mean, that is madness. Total and utter madness. So you're not giving him round 8, you're not giving him round 10. I mean, these judges need to be examined. I mean, they need to be brought upon the judges and explaining their scoring. Now, I'm not saying it's as bad as Catterall Taylor 1 judging, but my God, that was off. I mean, listen, a lot of people, and even I, being a Fury fan, if you'd have said 7-5 Usyk, you'd have been upset, but okay. It's one of them fights, wasn't it? A draw. Absolutely. Eddie Hearn had it a draw. 7-5 Fury, you could see. I know De La Hoya scored it that way at ringside. But 8-4 Usyk, I mean, what planet are these guys on? And you've got these keyboard warriors and these fight disciples and this G-Man boxing who have clearly got an agenda, clearly. Sort of very woke journalists who don't like Fury for many reasons. Probably because he's not PC and can't be controlled and speaks his mind, saying, it was one-sided. It's absolute nonsense. These are keyboard warriors who never fought around boxing in their life, and yet they try and shout out judge, jury and executioner. Absolute madness. I was watching that fight through gritted teeth and every round was close, but to say that one fighter was 4 rounds better than the other is nonsense. It was absolute nonsense. And they say, these rounds were close, they could have been swayed here and there, but I'm sorry, that deserves to be examined. Like I say, Usyk again pulls on the pressure, doesn't he? We knew that. He doesn't get tired. His gas tank is second to none. But Fury was so much better at this time at modelling that, weighing that, surveying that, and he didn't get tired. He stayed with Usyk then 12 rounds. I was very impressed with that. I was impressed with the fact that Fury kept his discipline, didn't switch off. He stayed sharp. And listen, like I say, Usyk's always going to land some left hands. He's extremely quick, extremely dangerous. But Fury also landed, and he landed some good over straight rights as well, didn't he? I think that was a key. I'd like to have seen him back up Fury a little bit, Usyk a bit more, leaning on like you saw in round 10. I thought this is brilliant. And maul him. But like I say, it's not always easy with Usyk. And people forget Usyk, this little man. No, he's not. He's 6'3", he's 225 pounds. That's bigger than Foreman. That's bigger than Tyson. That's bigger than Ali. I mean, he's a big man. Same dimensions as David Haye. I mean, who was, a big puncher, considered a big puncher in heavyweights. So, he's not a small man by any chance. And, yes, compared to Fury, he's a smaller man, but everyone is. But like I say, size doesn't always win fights. Muscles don't win fights, as you saw in the Joshua fights. Usyk schooled him. But I mean, like I say, these fights were far, 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 far closer than the Joshua fights. They were one-sided as far as I'm concerned, despite, again, boxing politics, making Joshua look better than he was. Fury and Usyk was dead heat. 2 highly skilled, evenly matched boxers. Joshua fight was not. Usyk was levels above Joshua in terms of boxing IQ and ability. He was not against Fury. They were very, very matched. However, there's no question Fury has lost a bit of his legs. He's lost a bit of his speed at 36 years old. And obviously he hasn't lived a life like Usyk has, so he's going to catch up with him. Usyk's 37 himself, but he hasn't had as many fights. He certainly hasn't had the Wilder wars that Fury's had. Had it been pre-Wilder, or even post-Wilder 2, I think Fury would have mauled Usyk. I really do. But that Wilder 3 fight was vicious, and that's going to take a lot out of you. Whereas, Usyk, probably these fights would have taken out of him. I expect a reduced Usyk, and I think Dubois might even have a chance. Of beating Usyk now. We have to see how much these fights have taken out of Usyk, but they were heavy, hard fights. And Usyk took a battering and the beating. despite what people say. He was beaten up in both fights. And, Fury took some punishment. I don't want to see Fury fight again. I do not want to see him. I think he's taken enough now. He's got nothing to prove. If he's going to fight one more time, it'll be a trilogy with Usyk. But, of course, the boxing world's not going to have that now. So I don't want to see him fight Joshua. What for? The money? He's got enough money. It's a reduced fight now. Both are past their primes. It doesn't count. It's no titles. It's really irrelevant. It's just a sales pitch. And I quite frankly don't think Joshua deserves a big money fight now. I mean, he's been battered by Pillar Post, by not even the best heavyweight in the world, by Dubois. He's lost his last 3 or 4. He doesn't deserve that. And I don't want to see Fury. I don't want to see him fight Joshua. I just want him to retire in the sunset. Hold his head high. My initial reaction, and I always go with this, and I try and take my impartiality out of it, is Fury won that fight. I was jumping around the house. I was going, he's won this. And then I realised, oh my God, we're in Riyadh. We are in Riyadh. These judges will not go with him. I said that. I put it on my Twitter, my X account, I put it on my Facebook. I sent it on WhatsApp. I said, Fury's not getting a decision here. And lo and behold, he didn't. But it was a brilliant effort from Fury. An improved effort. He didn't hurt Usyk as much as he did in the first fight, especially the uppercut in the first fight. And at times he was playing with Usyk in the first fight. This one, they both made adjustments. Usyk knew it was coming more. And, so did Fury. I would have liked to have seen Fury be a bit more aggressive. But I think, like I say, he was always respectful of the counter from Usyk. And, Usyk carries sting with his left hand. Not huge power, but sting. Enough to get your attention. And he was fighting more aggressive than I've ever seen him fight in these Fury fights. At heavyweight. He didn't fight as aggressively, I don't think, against Joshua. Not until round 12 of that fight. So, credit to him. But, Dubois is a different kettle of fish in terms of physicality and power and danger. And I think he's got to be very careful. Dubois could physically maul him now after them 2 fights. I don't think it's as one-sided as people think it is. Obviously, he's favourite Usyk, but I think Dubois got the bee in his bonnet now, and he's confident, and that could be a real fight for him. And that's probably going to fight to be made. Or the winner of Dubois Parker will fight Usyk, no question. But if he wins that, I'd like to see Usyk retire as well, because I don't think the trilogy fight's going to happen now, which is a shame. I really felt Fury did enough to win this fight. I thought this is game on, it's 1-1. They'll get the trilogy. But it didn't happen. It's a shame, because I felt like, the first fight could easily have been a draw. I had the first fight a draw, and I scored this second one 7-5 to Fury. But, there's an argument I accept for 7-5 Usyk. But 2 very evenly fighters. Ignore the keyboard warriors. Like I say, and his own pundits are awful, aren't they? Adam Smith. I can't believe he's back on the mainstream times with you, and they're just so one-sided. Again, an agenda. There's an agenda with his own. The TNT, and the Sky Sports were far more impartial and better pundits. The Zone were just awful. Even when they walked out the ring, did you hear that? Walked into the ring. Fury, 36 years old and worn and battered pretty much. And then he's talking about Usyk, who's a year older, by the way. This sublime athlete, this double Olympian. It's just so one-sided from Adam Smith. And he's always got that personal agenda. Don't like him as a pundit. He's very smug, very arrogant. Don't like Adam Smith as a pundit. And I turned the volume down. I watched it on his own because it was easiest to stream from my phone. Quite frankly, I'd rather have a month's subscription. So I watched it with the Zone than rather than just a one-off payoff like in Sky Sports and BT were offering. But my God, I turned it off. The punditry, so one-sided. And there you can make your own analysis. And like I say, there were some good rounds from Usyk. Round 4 was a very good round for Usyk. He stung Fury. But after that, I think Fury started to see that left hand more, gauge it more. It's not to say he didn't get caught, of course, but it had less and less effect. And he negated it. And he like I say, he neutralised Usyk a lot. I think Usyk looked old in there at times last night. And I think Fury as well looked older. But, all this nonsense from Cole Frampton of body shaming Fury. He's a different breed. He's a different fighter. He doesn't need to have a six-pack ab. He's got good natural cardio. And actually the weight helped him take them punches early on from Usyk. And in the mid-rounds. So he didn't gas out. He kept up with Usyk and he played it right. He's a smart guy, Fury. And Andy Lee, and Shagil are brilliant trainers. They played it right. It was a great fight. Could have gone either way. Like I say, I had it Fury 7-5. I think he just controlled the fight enough. I think he nullified Usyk. People are saying you need to take it away from the champion, but, you know, I think, you know, ultimately you accumulate rounds to win fights, and I think Fury did enough. I think, you know, I think he stayed. I think he controlled up to 6 large parts, and then he stayed with Usyk, nip and duck, swapping rounds up to the finish line. So, you know, and you got fight disciples again saying, give your head a wobble if you think Fury won. I mean, what are these guys on? It was an extremely close fight, and neither man were in serious danger this time. Obviously, round 9 in the first fight, that was bad for Fury. Round 6 was bad for Usyk. Didn't have any of that, but you had some flashes. I mean, Usyk stung Fury. Fury stung Usyk with some good overhand rights and the occasional bodies. I liked how Fury made adjustments. He's always covering up for that left hand. I saw a lot of them. Yes, he got hit by a few, but negated and covered up a lot of them. And likewise, I know Usyk tucked himself up to watch the body. Very good tactical fight, very close fight. I think at times Fury took the centre of the ring, which was good. I didn't like to see him any backed up at all, like he was in the first fight. He can't be doing that as a bigger man. But again, Usyk's relentless. He keeps coming, and keeps believing. And he's got a very good chin himself and very good stamina. He lives the life, doesn't he? He trains all year round, and you see that there. But listen, a great fight, a great advocate for boxing. Like I say, ignore the haters. It was fantastic. They deserve their money. Just for me, I think Fury did enough. I think he did. I think he controlled Usyk enough, and I think he got that win 7-5. But I mean, you know, like I say, judges are judges for a reason. Don't always agree with them, but they get paid enough. They obviously saw the 1 minute flashes from Usyk at the end of each round, and that swayed him. They saw the reaction at the end with Usyk on his knees, which again, little things sway the judges. You know, and the crowd were reacting every time Usyk landed a left hand, but sometimes they weren't landing flush. And like I say, when Fury was landing his body shots, ripples of applause, not screams. So all these things add up. But like I say, I'd like to see Fury retire now. I think he just walks off with his head held high in the sunset. He's got his pride back. He's got a huge payday. He doesn't need to fight again. For Usyk, I'd like to see him defend one more time, try and become undisputed again against Jabbar or Parker. Considering he's not washed up after this, he should win that. Then I'd like to see him ride off in the sunset and just let the new generation take over now, because these two fights have taken a lot out of both fighters. I don't want to see Fury AJ, and I don't want to see Usyk really fight any more than once. Let me know what you guys think. Like I say, I scored it 7-5 Fury. I think he did enough, controlled it enough. He managed to land an array of punches, overhand right, the jab, the uppercut, you know, the body cross, and I think he negated Usyk. But you know, I can see an argument for 7-5 Usyk. What I cannot see is 8-4 Usyk. That is absolute madness, and for me, reeks of boxing, politics, and corruption. All right, guys, I'm out. I look forward to hearing from you soon. All right, bye.